right, so here we are in After Effects. Let's import our footage. Now, if you recall, I mentioned that we had an uncompressed transcode of this. Now, you should be aware that the uncompressed version is enormous compared to the regular untranscoded copy and the Apple ProRes 422 version. The normal one is 795 megs, we'll call it 800 megabytes. The Apple ProRes 422 high quality is 3.6, and the uncompressed transcode is 26.9, we'll call it 27 gigabytes. That's unbelievably large. Well, it's not unbelievable, but it's pretty large. So let's take our original and we'll drag that over this new comp icon. It'll make a new comp for us, and we'll just check out the differences between these. Now, already we saw a little bit of something weird there. Here we have our original. We'll zoom way up here. We'll check out, actually, let's find a spot where you can see my ear, because somehow this doesn't like my ears very much. So you can see a ton of chroma subsampling problems. Now we'll look at the ProRes version. That already cleans it up quite a bit. And now we'll look at the uncompressed version as well. Now, for some reason, in 8 bits per channel in that mode, there is a weird kind of gamma shift with the ProRes version. But you know what? I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. And even though this is uncompressed, there's not a tremendous amount of more detail in here. It kind of looks like it because of the way the colors are shifting, but it's so big that I don't think for someone who's just starting out that it's a big deal. So we're going to delete the other ones. Actually, we won't delete the original, so we can just check on it later. But we'll leave the ProRes version in here, and we can trim up this footage to somewhere in this neighborhood. Put the cursor right here and press B. That'll get the timeline over here. We can right click, select trim to work area, and that's cool. We're not gonna key out this whole footage. We're just gonna kind of scrub along and look at what we got going on. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pre-compose this footage. We can do that by selecting the layer, coming up here to layer, pre-compose. We'll call this source footage. Now you can also pre-compose by hitting Control, Shift, and C, which will also do the same thing. Okay, now we have the footage pre-composed, and we will call this Comp 1 up here. And to rename layers or comps, you just select the layer and press Enter, and you can enter your name in there. Now the first thing that we need to do is clean up these edges here. So to do that, we're going to grab the pen tool and we're going to draw a mask. Whoops. If you do that without selecting the footage, it will make a shape layer. We don't want to do that. So select the footage, source footage here, and we'll draw around a mask. Now, unlike the garbage matte, we can use Bezier curves here to really get this very precisely laid where we want. We'll hit V, go back to the selection tool. Cool, that looks great. That looks excellent. Now we can, we'll pre-compose it again, just so we don't have any funny business going on with the mask with our key, and that one's just labeled masked, because actually we can label it, go up here, masked footage. That's a little bit better. Okay, so now let's throw on Keylight, which is the default kind of powerhouse of chroma key plugins that comes standard with After Effects. So we click it right in the middle, and you see it does a reasonably good job of grabbing a lot of the color. And we have a ton of settings here. We're going to go through those. The first one that we want to look at is screen gain. And if you hold Control, click and drag, we can just drag this up ever so slightly until we see kind of the bulk of that jazz go away. Now we can change the view to screen matte, and this will be a little bit easier to see when we kind of clip all that out. Now also be aware of what's happening to your edges here. If you look at my glasses here, this starts at 100. And as we increase the screen gain, that's going to kind of push the green juice and slowly clip out the edge of the frame of my glasses. We don't really want that. What would be good is if we could leave the screen gain around 100 and kind of deal with some of this other noise another way. So let's do this. Let's shut off key light and let's grab color key. Color key, here we go. So we're going to use this, select a color, and then we're going to put maybe 15 there. We'll duplicate it, select this here, duplicate it one more time, select this color there. Now we've basically kind of, one more time, we'll get this out of there. Now we've kind of basically garbage keyed most of the junk out. Then we can put a plugin called Simple Choker, and pull this back a little bit, and this will create a nice clean edge for key light to work with. Now let's just reset this here. Let's clap these up like so. Turn them off. Key light, we're going to sample the colors, and then what we're going to do is right click down here, and we're going to make a new solid. We're going to make a new magenta solid. I like using magenta because it's the opposite of green. So if there's anything that is slipping through, it's going to be really easy to detect. So if we come back up here, we turn on. That actually looks shockingly okay, just where it is. Now here's the thing. If we turn off all of these, we have a little bit, now it's probably really tricky to see, but there is a little bit of junk over here. By using a couple of other plugins, we can get rid of some of this junk in the outlying area, and we don't have to boost the screen gain up. And then all it's really dealing with is just the edge. If we turn the screen gain down, we can kind of see what's going on there. So we'll use a screen gain of 100, and we can kind of see what's going on here. Now already that's pretty decent. We have a little bit of an edge there that we can kind of look at, but areas like hair here, if we look at the original, you can see that it's kind of pulling through my hair. And that's cool because that's exactly what it would look like. Where in Premiere, it would basically clip all those right out. So we can go in here and tweak this further. Screen balance is something that we can kind of adjust, but it'll work okay right where it is. Now, if we zoom way in here, we can see if we can add a little bit of pre-screen blur. Sometimes that helps to settle up the edges, and sometimes it doesn't. I think we'll just leave it there for now. Now we have in the screen matte, and we can actually look at the screen matte here, and that'll show you, we have clip black. So black is going to basically take this screen matte, which is what we're viewing here, and it's going to clip things that are close to black and push them down to black. And we can actually do that so much that it clips everything down. We don't want to do that. We want to just maybe push it up just a hair to kind of tighten up those edges. And we can do the same thing with white. So things that are white, it's going to kind of push out. Things that are a little bit gray, it's going to start clipping those to full white, which is going to basically take our source here and push it out. And the more we do that, the more we start getting into a nasty edge here. So we want to basically just do that very subtly. Maybe we'll look at the glasses here. Maybe like that. Just a little bit. The more subtle we can be with these, the better our key's going to be. Now we have a clip rollback. We can kind of roll back some of that clipping just a little bit. We're not going to need to worry about that. Then we have a screen shrink grow. So we can, this is kind of like choke. We can choke it out just a little bit. We're going to leave it for now because that actually looks right. Even though there's a little bit of kind of fuzz around the edge. And we have screen softness, and this will just basically blur up the edge just a little bit. Let's leave that for now and see if we can do anything to fix these tiny green highlights here.